All right, good evening, everyone. Welcome to what's going to be a really special exhibition race for the Super Mario Bros. 2 randomizer. This has been a project that I've been working on for a while, and I'm really excited to be able to show it off on Randomania for everyone. With me in the commentators booth is Leslie Pro 04.
Hi again, guys. Good evening, everybody. This is going to be a lot of fun as this has been a project that's been in the works for some time now, as Tetrally said. And so we're going to see what we're going to see basically is what gets randomized. Amongst the things that get randomized include the stages and the enemies within the stages. And for more things randomized, here's Tetra.
Yep, so in addition to the stages, there'll be things like enemies being changed. Some of the graphics and palettes will be changed. And actually, it looks like the race is just about to get started, so you'll get to see right in front of your eyes a couple of other things as well. The levels are also going to be almost completely rearranged and reordered. We're not going to be starting with the usual vanilla one like you normally do. You'll also notice that both of the runners are choosing Mario to start with, but Mario may not jump and play exactly like one might expect. All of the character traits have also been randomized amongst them so that you might actually, for instance, play as Toad, but then have a jump similar to the princess or Luigi. So we see both of them starting off taking the rocket ship up to the main part of the level. Now, normally folks will use a snippet that's on top of one of those posts to jump up, but in this seat, it's actually been rearranged with a different ninja here. Oh, and looks like, unfortunately, Barn Owl took a death trying to do the level the intended way. Raikou was able to make his way on top of the, that post, as Barn Owl just did. So he's going to catch right on up. And yeah, so they're going to be making their way to the first Birdo of the level, or of the game, rather.
Ooh, Raikou got fried by that Birdo.
Youch, yow, yikes. Yeah, I think my thing might be a little bit behind, but it's the Birdo itself hasn't been changed directly yet. That's on my to-do list to work on. But you notice the textures of the level and some of the sprites are a little bit different. I'll be talking more about how the sprite changes come into play here. It looks like Raikou is able to make his way past the Birdo and will be going into 1-2, which in this case is going to be, I think it's 4-2 or 4-1. I always get 4-1 and 4-2 mixed up.
Well, they're not swimming in quicksand, that's all I know.
Yeah, that's the important part. What's normally an ocean there is actually replaced with sand. They're going to be both having a little bit of a delay here as they jump. Oh, looks like Raikou's playing Luigi with a princess float. That's going to give him a little bit of an edge as he tries to float over some of these. Oh, but gets sniped by one of the ninjas instead of the auto bombs that are normally in this
level. That was 4-1, by the way. I was starting to wonder why he was floating. It's like, oh wait, princess trick. And
yeah,
1-3.
Exactly. So Raikou's going to have to do that part of the stage again. Now, Barn Owl is in what's 2-3 vanilla. You notice that some of the quicksand are now filled in. That's a little bit due to the mechanic that makes the quicksand actually sort of semi-solid with the game. But since we are in a sort of desert theme still for a desert level, things won't be looking quite as weird as they might be otherwise.
Ooh, Raikou taking a death. Eesh.
Yeah. Raikou's going to go back to play as Luigi or the princess, depending on how you look at it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Barn Owl had a Shy Guy catch up to him.
Yep. So to answer G Mario's question in chat, why are there different moving ninjas instead of the flurries in the level? I'll explain a little bit more later, but there's a couple of different graphic sets or sprite sets in the game. Some are for the winter themed ones in World 4 vanilla. There's some desert ones, some castle ones. And if you take a enemy that's designed for one set into a world that has a different set, you get some sort of weird glitches. And I've been able to work around some of them better than others. I can explain more about that in a later stage. In the meantime, Raikou and Barnell are both digging for their lives down to get a key in order to get out. Oh, Raikou gets hit by a ninja.
This has the potential to get nasty, folks, because those ninja are relentless in their pursuit.
Yeah, in some ways they're actually easier than Shy Guys because they will tend to jump up rather than they'll tend to jump up, which means as you're going down, they're not as likely to get in your way because of their jumping. However, coming back up, it's a little bit trickier because they'll be jumping back up with you. And you have to deal with not only Phanto, the mask that comes and chases after you when you have the key, but also the ninjas.
Yep, Barnell, first one through, and he's still got ninjas in front of him. Thankfully in front of him and now behind him as he reaches the orb and will face our first boss.
Yep. So the first boss is going to be a fairly vanilla-looking Triclyde. That's the boss from Worlds 2 and 6, the desert worlds of the vanilla game.
Oh, Raikou taking a tough death.
Oh, yikes.
Thankfully, does not have to dig down again, and Barnell finds 1-1 at 2-1's position.
Yeah, only with a little bit of an explosive surprise as the Bob-ombs come and follow him down.
And it snowed over, literally.
Yes, one of the differences is the graphical colors and sprites are different in each of the worlds. This is a feature of the randomizer, and also you'll notice that inside you see some green bricks instead of the usual sort of more drab colors. All of these palettes are actually built into the game itself. All I did was shuffle them around to use them in different levels. Oh, and getting a nice squat jump with the princess or Luigi or whoever that is.
Princess with, I believe, Luigi's mechanics. Kind of reminded me of something out of out of Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. Late game part, by the way.
Exactly. So now Raikou will be making his way into Vanilla 1-1 as, let's see what's in 2-2. Looks like this is 3-1? Or no, 5-1 rather.
5-1.
You'll notice here there's a little bit of the waterfall that's missing. This is necessary to prevent a soft lock that can happen if the waterfall freezes over if you put the waterfall into an ice world. I'm still working on a way to get that to be less glitchy. But in the meantime, pretty much everything else other than the sprites are going to look just fine for this level. And Barnell will take out the Birdo there. And actually, based on a question in the chat, this is available for beta testing. If you do the SMB2R command in chat, you'll get a link to the Discord where you'll be able to download a copy both for Windows or Mac.
You got Barnell running through 1-3 at this moment.
Yeah, it looks like Barnell has about a one-stage lead at this point, but you know, given that this is a randomizer, you never know what's going to happen. Plenty of time to catch up.
Yep,
Barnell's... Oh, go ahead.
Any randomizer's gonna have its equalizer. What possible equalizer could we be looking for coming at our runners?
You never know, and even some of the boss fights are going to be a little bit different and add in some extra layers of complexity. But for anyone who's interested in trying this out, there are beta apps both available in the Discord. I'll go ahead and put a command to link to it. Meanwhile, you'll notice the use of sand in the new 1.3 that Barnowl is going through and that Raiko will about to be going through himself. This changes the dynamics a little bit. The other thing you'll notice about this fight with Mouser that Barnowl is going into is that the background looks a little bit dark. This is actually the background from the vanilla subspace theme. And as a result, it makes doing things a little bit trickier. Barnowl is actually able to bomb the sand, believe it or not, that the Mouser was standing on. Normally that's a solid wall, but is able to take advantage of that to get Mouser even quicker than normal.
I was about to ask about it. I was like, wait a minute, Mouser's on the floor!
Yeah, we had a bug a little bit ago where a Birdo fell down who caused a soft locking situation that was troublesome. But fortunately, that got fixed.
Looks like Barnowl's in for... I want to say that's 4-2.
Yeah, that's 4-2.
That stage being a big ol' iceberg where you're sliding with all of these enemies coming right at you at some rather quick speeds, too, I might add.
Yep. But you also notice that without the ice physics, you're going to have a little bit of a tougher time being able to slide through and get through the level faster. You're actually going to have to hoof it the old-fashioned way like Barnowl was doing.
Yeah, and another interesting thing to notice is that the whales that you would see in the vanilla game, they've been replaced with a more solid standing, and you don't have any water spouts coming at you.
Yeah, that's another winter theme specific sprite that we've changed around a little bit in order to make them not be incredibly glitchy. The whales are only designed, and for those of you who played the vanilla game, you only see them in 4.2, so as a result, you don't really get to have them. The developers never made sprites for them in other worlds as well. So that causes some glitchy stuff that happens when you randomize. So I've taken a couple liberties in order to work around that.
Oh, and Barnowl just brought a star into a Birdo fight, and that finished Birdo off just like that. I've played this game since I was a kid, and I did not know that that was a thing.
Yeah, I believe you can do that in the vanilla game as well.
Raiko's having some trouble with Mouser here.
Yeah, it definitely gets to be a little tricky when you have all those bombs piling up on you. And he only has 1 health, so needs to be careful. Meanwhile, Barnowl is doing some nighttime digging in the subspace palette theme. And having some more ninjas come after him. So we'll see how those play out. Ooh, takes a bop from one of them. Ouch.
This is getting pretty dicey for Raiko. He's just not able to get down there to where a bomb is not going on. Oh, there he goes.
Yeah, the mechanic with Mouser falling does change the fight a little bit. If you get the right like most bosses in video games, if you get the right pattern and you know what to do, it's not so bad. But sometimes having to figure it out on the fly is a tricky part.
Well, Raiko's now caught up. We've got Barnowl heading into 3-3, so that's about a 2-stage difference now. Uh-oh, Raiko got tripped up.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the neat part. 6-3, you don't have to do the quicksand, that slog through the quicksand. Just dig right through and boom, you're there. That's awesome.
Exactly. That's due to some of the way the quicksand mechanics work, that it was very hard to replicate that in all worlds, so replacing it with diggable sand basically serves the same purpose, and actually lets you go a little bit faster. Meanwhile, Barnow's going to be facing Triclyde number 2 over here. Looks like he's getting the second shot. Oh, but no, Triclyde to the right, not the left. You're going to have to throw the mushroom ball. There you go.
Yeah, that can be the tougher Triclyde fight just due to that gauntlet of fireballs that's coming at you repeatedly ad nauseum.
Yeah. And want to stress, though, that even people who are very familiar with the vanilla game, like both of these two runners are, and practicing randomizer, are going to run into challenges and tricky things, but that's sort of the nature of a randomizer. You sometimes have surprises come up, and the game tests how well you can react to them.
Arnow's ditched the slower Albatross for the faster flying enemy. Can't think of its name.
Oh, the yeah, I forget it too. One of those. I didn't even realize that was a strat that you could do, so I've been working with this game for a while, and even I'm learning stuff that's new.
Yep, and for Barnow, it worked well.
Bezo, thank you. Thanks, you, regular gamer.
As for random number of hits, I presume for now they're at 3 hits.
Yep, they're all at 3. I believe it would be possible to change it to take more or fewer. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. That's a great feature suggestion, though.
Yep, we can put that on the list of things coming our way. Yep. Raikou in 6-1. This is a level that tied me up as a kid because I could never find the right path.
Yeah, and always forget which jar, but the way I remember it is it's the second to the, or it's the one just to the right of the, I think the little, it's normally a Cobrat in the vanilla game, but whatever it was, randomized.
Yeah, still a Cobrat, and Raikou gets sniped by the ninja.
Oh, yeah.
Down to 1 life, too.
Meanwhile, we see Barnow going through the 5-2 Vine stage, coming up again with the subspace palette. It's going to be a little bit tricky also going down through the sort of canyon here, given that you can see the outline of the shapes and sprites, but not really the details of them.
Yep, but even with the details, you can know that the spikes are bad.
Yep.
And on Barnow side, you still get a fish that you can use to slap Birdo upside the head with. Yeah, even if the river there is frozen over, you still wind up being able to, get the fishes can jump through. Ooh, last life for Raikou. He has got to be careful because he's midway through the world. And a game over here would put him at the start of the world. Ooh, yeah. Oh, and he gets Birdo, though. That's great. Really glad Raikou made it through there. Now, Barnow is going to be running across the what's normally an ocean, but you can't really see it with the subspace palette. Unfortunately, you can't even see the hole there with that subspace palette either.
Oops. So that's part of the challenges with the randomizer. It really tests how well you know the vanilla game. Even as far as the door location. Yeah, I would have had a terrible time finding that door. Absolutely terrible. Oh, and we got ourselves a fry guy that kind of resembles a funny-looking Pixel Vomit there. Like, fry guy had a bad day or something. Yeah, we call this Mouse Guy. Or Fry Sir. I don't know exactly what you call it. what's going on here, the analogy I sometimes use to explain this is like you're in a restaurant and if you want to order a Sprite from a menu and you say, hey, I just want to order, number 2 on the menu, and build a combo that way or something. And if you're at, one restaurant, you can order a number 5 and it'll mean one thing. But if you then order it from a different restaurant, that, oh, just give me a number 5 will mean something completely different. Likewise, in a winter level, it might mean something different, a completely different sprite than a desert one. So as a result, you wind up getting these weird sprite glitchiness things when you think the game thinks it has one sprite, but then it's something completely different.
Yeah, I think J-Money hit the nail on the head. It got crossed up with the Claw Grip sprite as Raikou got through that world and is taking a game over to replenish lives.
Yeah, that's a wise strategy given that he was really low and would probably have to continue if took a death anywhere else in the level. But now he's going to go and take the, looks like the safety strat with the Albatos there. Now, Barnow finds another glitchy sprite there with the Pidgeot and what's normally a Pidgeot and a flying carpet, except the carpet is, looks like it's made out of a couple different things.
Looks like it's a cross between a Bezo, a Shy Guy, and a Claw Grip, if I had to take a guess.
Yeah. Oh, and runs into a Babam up there. Yikes.
Yeah, a little fun fact about the Mario series that some people might not know is that Babams debuted in this game and became a staple in the series ever since.
Yeah. Looks like we have some folks in chat who really love their glitch sprites as well.
And we got a double KO. Barn Owl goes down with a Birdo as Raikou gets taken out by another Birdo.
Oh no. And this is a tough game. Even the vanilla game is a notoriously difficult 2D Mario game to speedrun. They're doing way better than I could personally, which is why you don't see me demonstrating my own randomizer.
Yeah, the speedrun is filled with a lot of tricks that just blow my mind. I mean, I've watched Skybills run this game a few times, and she just makes it look so easy, as do many of the runners.
Yeah, but it definitely is not. So definitely give both of these runners, Raikou and Barnow, a big follow. They're both doing a really great job with one of the very first public displays of this randomizer.
And Barnow stepped on a porcupine. 0 out of 10 would not recommend.
Yeah. No, is that a porcupine or Sonic? I know technically they're Porcupo, but some people like to refer to them as little Sonic the Hedgehogs.
You know, I could honestly see that because I do see a bit of a resemblance to Sonic, especially on this subspace background.
Yep, gotta go fast.
I mean, maybe not so much here, but I can certainly still see it regardless.
Exactly.
Now, this is a rough section no matter whether you're for anyone who plays the game, because you've got fireballs raining at you from above, and the source of said fireballs coming at you. Yeah.
In some seeds, the Panzers actually didn't move at all, and in some ways that made it harder because you needed to be able to go through and you couldn't lure the moving ones down off the screen.
So that could be a challenge.
Yep. And to answer Meg's question from chat, it actually is a flag to be able to rotate the subspace palettes. We did that because some folks don't like the fact that it takes a little bit more sort of like eye strain to be able to figure out where things are with the lower light and the lower color differences. So wanted to put in a setting for that for accessibility. And
on Raikou's side, we got Claw Grip dropping fireballs, apparently. Now that I've seen it, I can't unsee it.
Actually, that's Wart Grip, because I believe this this world is one that's castle themed, so like Vanilla World 7. So that's why some of the sprites are a little bit glitchy.
Yep, I can see that on Barnow's side, and what I called out was on Raiko's side. But yeah, certainly looks interesting that way. Now, what'd be really interesting would be to see I've seen the one cycle that the speedrunners do against Claw Grip. Now, that's something you won't see me doing anytime soon, believe me.
Yeah, Raiko taking a really smart strategy to the little mini fry guys or whatever they are, and luring them on one side of the screen, and then taking them with the mushroom blocks, wrapping around the screen in order to lure them to their impending death. Oh, looks like we got a glitchy Ostro on Barnell's screen here. And he's going to get the glitch that allows him to run across the top of the screen.
Yeah, Meg, for any randomizer, knowledge of the vanilla game definitely is a plus to have. It can be this or any other randomizer for that matter. If you have knowledge of the vanilla game and it's extensive, you're going to do well.
Yeah, but we do realize it's an extra challenge to be that familiar with the vanilla game, which is why we have it as a separate flag to enable and disable. Yeah. So it looks like Barnell has about a one world lead over Raiko. Let's see. Barnell is in 6-2 now, which has a little bit of a jagged pyramid there.
And that pyramid reminded me of the steps from Super Mario Bros. 1 and other games in this series.
Yep, exactly. Now, part of the reason why on Raiku's side you're going to see all these glitchy Pidgeots with the carpets is that if you remember from the vanilla game, or for those of you who are familiar with it, there's only Pidgeots in worlds 1, 3, and 5. And in 4 and 7, there are also a lot of rocket ships as well. Those actually use the same sprite positions or the same numbers. So that's why you sometimes see the carpets being turned into rocket ships or vice versa with how the sprites work. So that's the problem you have when you move a level that's designed to work under one sprite into a level that has a different sprite set.
We got ourselves a couple of Subspace Birdo fights. Barnow wins his, but Raiko takes an egg.
Ouch. Yeah, Raiko's going to have to do this over again. This is a tough room, particularly given the pit that you have to work with, and that it's a Birdo that shoots a mixture of eggs and fireballs, as opposed to just eggs.
Yeah, but thankfully Birdos that shoot a mix generally are easier to deal with than those that just shoot fire at you. In fact, I'm wondering if maybe the ones that shoot... Would it be possible to randomize Birdos with it between the ones that sometimes shoot fire and those that always shoot, or...?
I think there probably is. The issue with that is that for the ones that only shoot fireballs, you need to put some mushroom blocks in place in order to make sure the player has a way to kill them. Otherwise, that would probably cause a soft lock if they don't have anything to kill the Birdos with. Oh, Barnow takes a nasty death from those Panzers up there. That'll give Raikou a little bit more time to catch up, although he's going to have to be careful about the Porcupine coming up there. Takes an unusual path, bombing the bombable walls there, as opposed to going around the usual way.
But it worked. What happened on Barnow's side is that unfortunately after this, he did not take the safety door, so he has to start the climb from the beginning. Had he taken the safety door, he would not have had to do the climb from the beginning, which is a larger time loss than the safety door.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's part of the hazardous speedrunning. Sometimes you'll not want to take the safety save because that eats time, but then again, if you don't make it through, you have an even larger time loss. So it's a trade-off there.
Yeah, but Barn Owl got through in the second attempt. As Raikou dances around the Panzers and makes them, well, basically makes them disappear by falling the other way, and Barn Owl spawned a Starman.
Oh, that's really huge. So now he'll just be able to jump right on up until the star expires. That definitely makes the level a lot easier.
Yeah, especially with all the Sparkies that run around this particular level. Those can be tough to navigate.
Yeah, I need to randomize those sparks with something else, though. I wonder what I can do about that.
Unfortunately, this Sniffit decides to bust out the sniper and snipe.
I do want to emphasize, even if the runners are taking a large number of deaths here, this is not an easy game to do. Even though I've been, play testing this and working on this randomizer for a while, I still routinely use a Game Genie code to give me infinite hits as I go through, and I vetted the seed for this exhibition match. So by all means, please give them a follow and a big hand for helping me demo this randomizer for y'all.
And while Barn Owl is facing a Claw Grip Mauser fusion, Raikou took a death.
Yeah.
And unlike the other arena, the platform in this arena was rock solid, and that was a good thing because there was a Sparky buzzing around.
Exactly.
I believe you're right on the money
nice.
with that.
Raikou got a multiple hit there on Claw Grip or whatever that is.
I would have tossed in some Kraid from Metroid 1, but I could be wrong. And I think you're right on the money with that J Money, no pun intended. And the castle, I believe, Tetra can correct me on this if I'm wrong, the castle has to be the final level, yes?
Yep, that was actually a request from one of the folks who plays the randomizer to always make the 7-2, the last castle level, always final, which I just implemented in the last release, as a matter of fact.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, this is still under active development. I've been spending a lot of time over the last couple weeks trying to get this randomizer in shape to be released and for the exhibition. Unfortunately, hacking on 30-year-old video games doesn't pay quite as well as my day job does, so my time is a little bit limited, but I'm doing my best.
Hey, that's understandable because I'll tell you right now, my day job is what's paying the bills too. So that's what's keeping me from doing the day job, occasionally streaming here and there. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah. If there's any grant I don't know about randomizer creation, definitely let me know, though. I would love to be able to have the time to work on this more. At any rate, Raikou's going to now be going through, what is that, 2-1, I think?
Nice ninja kill on Barn Owl's side, because he had 2 on his tail, 1 picked up, but afterwards it was down to 1, and he left that one in the dust.
Yeah. We have another Birdo fight here. I don't know if Barn Owl is going to do so and realize that this is the diggable sand, but he might actually be able to dig right through, as he just did. Sometimes the textures can change and cause either boss fights to be a little bit harder or easier than usual. Meanwhile, Raikou has a great pattern going on with the ninjas to get around them, taking advantage of how they jump higher.
Yeah, well, hopefully you don't dig through the sand and put Birdo down the pit, because you sort of need the orb.
Yep. Meanwhile, Barn Owl is going into his daytime-themed 7-2 here.
I'll defer to Tetra on that one, G Mario, but I believe Fear on Burgundy hit the nail on the head.
Yes, exactly.
You want to showcase the whole game. Besides, if we wanted to, we could just randomize the warps and have them take you back to the beginning just for trying to take them.
As a matter of fact, that is actually one of the flags in the game. You can, or one of the randomizer flags. We made it a flag just because warping people backwards can be kind of evil, so if folks really want a challenge like that, they can have one, but...
And we have got a darkness wart, and oh my lord, it looks like wart really fused with Kraid. Or Svidley or something, and I can see Fry Guy's face somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, that would be Fry Guy there. The Metroid runners in chat will probably be wondering, are we going to take Kraid to prom or not? Which I don't fully get the joke, but it's some sort of Super Metroid thing about whether you get the quick kill against Kraid or not. And unfortunately, there's no quick kill against whatever this is.
Yep, I agree, Clarence. Wart really let himself go this time. By the way, question for Meg. Which was glitchier? This wart or the other wart in that seed?
I don't know, that's definitely competitive. And it looks like Barnell's going to be getting his last couple of hits on Wart. Hopefully. And it's always kind of tough getting the patterns because of how Wart can shoot down any vegetables you throw at him.
And Barnell gets it done.
Very nice. Get your GGs out in chat. Barnell is finished with the official SRL time of 35 minutes and 17 seconds, saving the flurries as opposed to the subcons as one would normally do. It's another shared sprite issue, but...
Well, I guess this time saving the flurries is a good thing. Sorry, McDonald's, you won't be making McFlurries today.
Well, it's funny because one of the other glitchy characters, when you have a Pokey sprite, Pokey the Cactus's sprite, but playing as a Flurry or a different character, one of the folks in my chat sometimes calls that one Meatwad because it actually looks like a red sort of blob with a face on it. So you can get all sorts of
guys are just sprouted up on Raikou Rider in the desert.
Because why not? The whales actually, their spout is actually considered a character. So when I was looking for something to replace a cobra that comes up from the ground, a whale's spout is actually a pretty good substitute.
It definitely
Got him again.
Is.
With apologies to Raikou, but...
Actually, speaking of substitute, chains and vines seem to go hand in hand, as I'm seeing on Raikou's side.
Yeah, I think that was done... in most sprite sets, they actually look identical. Or the two colors, or the chain and the vine, but sometimes when you do introduce glitches, you do are able to see things like that. Let's see if we can bring Barnell in for a interview. I'd love to get his take on how the seed went.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, Raikou is digging himself in a hole, quite literally running away from these ninjas here. And you'll notice that once you get a lot of different sprites on the screen, the game starts to lag a little bit, so being able to run away from them quickly is a little bit of a tricky proposition for him.
So Raikou got the jump up through the platform, but unfortunately the mushroom block decided, skipping the trip. Is Raikou entering 7-2? Also, one thing to note, no vanilla levels that were intended at all this seed. Was that by design, or just how the seed rolled?
Well, it's possible that to have vanilla levels other than 7-2, which is forced to be the last level. Then again, if that had happened, and for example, level 6-1 is where 6-1 is normally, you wouldn't really be able to yell out at Fred, would you?
That's a fair point, but I think at this point, for a number of randomizer runners, myself included, that just becomes a thing, has literally become a thing of habit.
Exactly. So Raikko's taking an interesting path through 7-2, not taking the intended route. Is going to be going through a little bit of a detour in order to get through to Wart or the Wart.
Stopping to get the quick mushroom.
That's
that's a weird spot for that door to be, but at least it still worked.
Yeah, that's never happened before. Okay. Yeah, there's a joke about how, something isn't random enough in the community to yell at Fred, but you're more than welcome to yell at Tetra at me if you like instead. I'm not sure we're going to be able to get Barnell in for an interview. I've pinged him, but hopefully, at least, I know Raikko usually likes to do interviews following a race. So, and it looks like he'll be getting to Wart pretty soon. Going through some of the other parts of 7-2 that you normally don't get to see in a vanilla speedrun. Running into problems with the Babam that just really didn't want to get out of his way, though.
And that egg bouncing off the wall, well, the rebound got him.
Oh, interesting. Duck. Oh, no! That's too bad. But it was a great idea to duck under chat that way.
Yeah, that was a good one. In Barnell's in chat, he said he enjoyed the seed. He said that he enjoyed the seed. I'm seeing some. We know where the particular blocks are normally, and it looks like the Sparkies were revolving around them, but it didn't look like they were there.
Yeah, some of the blocks actually do become missing during when you go from one set or sprite set to another. The castle one that Vanilla 7 and 1 are Vanilla 7.1 and 7.2 are part of are actually some of the most different ones from all other sprite sets in the game. So as a result, taking a death trying to get that key. Oh, this is troublesome. He's down to his last life. I hope he's able to make it through. But this has been sort of a rough seed, especially with all the ninjas. And given the rate at which I've been coming out with new features, giving the runners and beta testers of the randomizer new things to play with and have to dodge and work around, it's probably no wonder that this is going to be a tough seed for a lot of folks.
Uh-oh, he's going to have to do this perfectly clean. One hit.
Yikes.
Yikes at how Wart looks, though.
Well, yes, that too. I was testing a seed earlier today where the ground underneath some of the vegetables was actually solid as opposed to such that you could walk through. And that definitely threw me for a loop, being able to fight Wart. Because it makes walking back and forth and dodging his bubbles or bow ties or whatever those are a lot more tricky.
They look like speed booster pads from a racing game, if I had to guess, and it looks like Raikko's not holding a vegetable, but rather an explosion.
Or is that a spout of a whale? I bet you that's actually the whale spout because we're doing a winter sprite set.
And I do believe with that, Raikou Rider has knocked him off. He got him.
Wow, and what a clutch finish, taking care of Wart on 1 HP. GG to Raikou.
And what is with this ending on Raikou's side?
Whoa.
What the heck?
That's never happened before.
But thankfully it just continued on, and that wasn't an actual trigger needed to cue this cutscene.
Okay. Yeah, I guess I'll have to file a bug report on that one. But that's what happens when you get with a data randomizer.
Yep, lots of fun and lots of crazy stuff.
Here, let's see if I can get... Raikou, are you there?
Yeah, that seed kicked my butt.
Yeah, that was a tough one, and
Raikou,
I
are
may
you
or
there?
may not have put in a couple of extra features that you may not have been used to.
I noticed,
Yeah,
like
that was
Ninji
a
really
tough
should
one,
be
and I may
restricted
or may
from
not have put
spawning
in a
in
couple of extra
digging stages
features
because
that,
that was the
you may
most
not
that
have
was
been
not
used
fun.
to. Yeah, I'll have to go back on that. In some ways, at least as you're going down, Ninji isn't as bad because of his tendency to sort of jump up as opposed to just stay at the level. But I was noticing as you were trying to come back up with the key in 2-3 that really was kind of almost too hard coming out to get you. So my apologies for that one. But you still played a great seed, and given all the random curveballs I was throwing at you, did really great overall.
Oh, thanks. I didn't feel like I played very well, but thank you. I took way too many stupid deaths.
Yeah, no, it definitely happens, and as I was explaining on the commentary, it's a tough game with, and even the vanilla game is, and when I've been doing my play testing, I've been using a Game Genie code just to make my life easier. So definitely, thank you so much for all your hard work, and GG to both of the runners.
Yep, this was definitely a lot of fun to watch and call. Yeah, those ninja in the quicksand, that looked nightmarish.
It's not fun. I figured when no, that was the other seed I did. The seed I did before that, but I figured when I had made it through worlds 1 and 2 so slowly, I figured I was in a hole I really couldn't get out of, and I'm sorry I couldn't make this closer.
Don't worry about it. This is just a first exhibition race, and I definitely need to put more work into the randomizer as well. So some of it's my fault as well, but it was still a really great race, and it seemed like the crowd really was interested. And the randomizer had a lot of great questions, and hopefully we'll even get some more interest and maybe even weekly races at some point once things are more people have had a chance to play it. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I think Barn Owl has like close to a top tier time in vanilla anyway, so I wasn't expecting to win.
Oh, yeah, he was just doing some runs this morning and I think got a 10:30 or so. So at any rate, yeah, we should
That's
probably
impressive.
yeah, no, definitely. We should probably start wrapping things up. Do you have any other final thoughts on the seed, Raikou?
Other than that, Ninja really should be restricted from spawning in digging stages. Oh, another issue that I ran into was it took me a while to figure out in Vanilla 3.1 what had happened with the platforms, because I was like, why are these solid? These really shouldn't be solid. And I didn't really think to like duck jump around them until
Yeah,
I was wondering why the
definitely
corners of
file
those
a
are
bug
solid.
report about those. Well, I'll get working on it. So at any rate, thank you both to Raikou and Barnell for racing. Do you want to plug a couple of upcoming events on Randomania? There's a calendar invite or calendar, whatchamacallit, link in chat for you to check out other things going on. And in little over an hour, there's going to be a Dragon Warrior randomizer chaos tournament race coming up, I think on Randomania 1. But definitely check the calendar for full details.
That
And
will be at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, 8 o'clock.
And 11:30 tonight as well.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you all, everyone, for coming out, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for inviting me to co-com this with you, Tetra. This was a lot of fun as well as very informative.
Yep. Great. Good night, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody. Catch you later.